Have you ever checked into an Airbnb, set down your bag, and felt something you couldn't explain? Like the air was heavier, or the silence somehow alive? According to countless guest reviews and anecdotal reports, this isn't just your imagination. Many guests from New York to Los Angeles, from Edinburgh to Hanoi, have described eerily similar experiences. Doors closing on their own, a sudden chill at midnight, footsteps in empty rooms, even dreams so vivid, it's as if the house itself was trying to send a message. Recent discussions on platforms like Reddit and various news outlets suggest that these stories are becoming more common. But what's really behind these so-called haunted stays? Is it just old houses and suggestible minds, or are we seeing a pattern tied to something deeper? Maybe even something hidden in the collective shadow of humanity. Today, let's enter the forbidden file where each home rental is laced with the uncanny. Not just ghost stories, but a journey into our own psyche, our cultural fears, and the algorithms that keep these tales alive. Are you ready to open the door? While Airbnb officially states that guest safety and comfort are their top priorities, thousands of reviews online, including on their own site, suggest some stays leave people with more questions than answers. For example, a 2023 YouGov poll reported that about 1 in 8 US travelers claimed to have experienced at least one unexplained or unsettling event while staying in a short-term rental. In contrast, the rate for traditional hotels is much lower, closer to 1 in 20. Some of the most talked about US cases, shared widely on Reddit, TikTok, and in local press include Brooklyn, New York. Several guests at the same apartment reported waking at exactly 2:17 a.m. to the sound of a woman crying in the closet. Local historians reportedly linked the building to a home for unwed mothers in the 1930s, a place surrounded by secrecy and loss. Savannah, Georgia. Guests in a historic home described seeing a face in the bathroom mirror that wasn't their own. Neighbors told media outlets that the previous owner, a reclusive artist, had died there and was undiscovered for weeks. Hanoi, Vietnam. According to a travel blog, a guest experienced recurring sleep paralysis in a French colonial-era home, always seeing an old man at the end of the bed. Locals later mentioned that the home was built on the site of a former prison. What's striking is how similar these stories are, even from guests with no prior knowledge of the property's history. While these reports are anecdotal, they reflect a wider cultural fascination with haunted spaces. According to psychologists such as Dr. Julia Shaw, our minds are wired to fill in gaps, especially unfamiliar environments. In an interview with The Guardian, Dr. Shaw explained that when we expect something unusual, our brains actively seek out patterns, turning creaking pipes into footsteps, or a draft into a cold touch. A 2019 University of Copenhagen study suggests that paranormal experiences in rentals tend to cluster around a few key factors: unfamiliar architecture, Gothic, Victorian, or otherwise creepy, houses' odd room layouts, mirrors facing beds, blocked windows, old furniture, or inherited objects, a known or rumored history of trauma or illness, solo travelers, or guests during off-peak hours. Some neuroscientists propose that these factors activate what Carl Jung called the shadow, the hidden side of our psyche, made up of repressed fears and memories. As described in a 2022 Stanford seminar, in a strange place we bring our whole shadow with us, and sometimes the house mirrors it back. In other words, the ghosts we sense may sometimes be our own. Notably, the Haunted Airbnb hashtag has amassed tens of millions of views on social media. According to recent reporting by Wired and Mashable, listings branded as haunted often see a surge in bookings, sometimes 40% higher than similar homes nearby. However, this viral fame can backfire. A 2022 Axios report citing Airbnb's internal data suggests that supernatural claims are a double-edged sword. More bookings from thrill seekers and content creators, but a sharp rise in guest complaint, requests for refunds, and even legal disputes. Some hosts seem to embrace the legend, while others try to erase it. In one 2021 case covered by local Atlanta news, a property called the Davenport House was delisted after 4 separate guests described seeing a ghostly child on the stairs, each in nearly identical terms, despite never meeting or reading each other's reviews. While no physical evidence was ever provided, the consistency of these reports fuels even more curiosity and speculation. According to data analytics companies such as AirDNA, properties with haunted or historic tags on platforms like Airbnb and VRBO earn, on average 28% more per night, and keep higher occupancy rates during off-peak seasons. Yet in parallel, a 2023 guest experience survey found that complaints about unexplained events or bad energy were highest in older properties, particularly those with documented or rumored histories of trauma, such as former hospitals or asylums, ex-funeral homes, houses near historic battlefields or disaster sites. While this doesn't prove any supernatural cause, the correlation is strong enough to interest researchers in fields ranging from parapsychology to consumer behavior. Some Airbnb hosts told Vice that their haunted reputation was great for bookings, but not so great for reviews. People expect a thrill, but sometimes they really get scared. I had to remove all antique dolls and old photos from the listing after 3 guests left in the middle of the night. If haunted reviews, ghost stories, or nights alone in a strange place ever make you feel like you're not in control, remember, uncertainty and anxiety feed off chaos. Research shows that even the smallest routines, a bedtime checklist, a morning ritual, or a daily journal, can make unfamiliar spaces feel safer and keep your mind grounded when fear tries to take over. That's why I recommend the Unleashing the Power of Self-Discipline worksheet. It's a practical tool designed not just for your work life, but for moments like these, when you're far from home and need a sense of control, when you want to turn restless nights into restful ones, or when you're ready to take back your focus, even if the world or your mind feels unpredictable inside. You'll find step-by-step exercises, guided reflections, and real-life strategies for reclaiming your day, your sleep, and your peace of mind. Don't let anxiety, overthinking, or even an overactive imagination hijack your night. Scroll down, click the link, and download Unleashing the Power of Self-Discipline today. According to Jungian psychology, each of us carries a shadow self, a collection of fears, regrets, and memories we prefer not to face. As explained in a 2021 New York Times feature on the shadow, unfamiliar environments can trigger this part of the psyche. Recent research from Stanford suggests that simply believing in ghosts or the paranormal doubles your chance of experiencing something unexplained compared to those who don't. But interestingly, even self-identified skeptics report higher anxiety, trouble sleeping, and feelings of being watched when sleeping alone in new places. Some experts speculate this is the mind's way of heightening our senses, a leftover from evolution, where being on alert in new environments kept us safe from predators or threats. Not all haunted stays are products of suggestion. There are unfortunately well-documented cases of crime, hidden cameras, and dangerous hosts. For example, The Guardian and The Atlantic have both reported on the rise of Airbnb horror stories in the US, including Los Angeles, 2019. A guest discovered a hidden camera in the bathroom of a luxury rental. Police later found evidence linking the owner to a series of illegal surveillance cases. Montreal, 2018. 2 backpackers became locked in their rental from the outside in the middle of the night. They later recalled whispering voices and a cold hand on their skin. Police later determined the lock had been deliberately tampered with. According to Airbnb's own 2023 transparency report, about 16% of all safety complaints referenced unusual, unexplained events, ranging from creepy noises to perceived intruders. This figure is small compared to overall bookings, but still represents thousands of cases annually. Recent industry analysis by AirDNA and Skift indicates that Airbnb's search and recommendation algorithms often boost listings with unique history or quirky features, including ghost stories or local legends. Listings that mention unusual vibes or historic haunting tend to be featured in social media roundups, and some even in official Airbnb blogs. Some hosts report that their properties, after being called haunted in one viral TikTok, suddenly received far more bookings even out of season. However, Consumer attorneys interviewed by Bloomberg warn that this viral reputation can come with legal risk, especially if guests feel deceived, endangered, or emotionally distressed. So, why do people book these places, sometimes paying more, even after reading all the scary reviews? According to a 2022 poll by Morning Consult, nearly a third of Gen Z and millennial travelers in the US said they would absolutely consider staying in a haunted Airbnb, mainly for the thrill and the story to share online. Psychologists suggest that these experiences serve as safe doses of fear, a way to confront our anxieties and explore the unknown in a controlled setting. A travel writer for the Washington Post summed it up. In a world where everything is on demand and predictable, a haunted house is a rare opportunity for mystery and, weirdly, connection to the past. After all these haunted stories and midnight shadows, sometimes your mind just needs a gentle escape, a way to come home to yourself. That's why I want to share two special books, perfect for winding down after a night of chills or overthinking. A luxury item called. Think of this as your self-care ritual in book form. Gentle prompts and small acts of kindness that help you feel safe, worthy, and at peace, whether you're in a haunted Airbnb or just haunted by your own thoughts. Just hear me out. A short, emotionally rich novella that's perfect for anyone who loves a little suspense but craves comfort too. It's a reminder that even when the world feels strange, you're never truly alone. Ready to reset? Check the description below to grab your copies and let your mind rest. So what's the real answer behind the Airbnb shadow? Is it the room, the history, the stories we tell each other, or something buried in our collective psyche? No single study has ever proven or disproven the existence of ghosts. But all over the world, people report the same feelings: strangeness, fear, connection, and sometimes a sense of closure. Maybe haunted rooms are just a mirror, reflecting back whatever part of ourselves we try to leave at the door. Or maybe, as some guests have whispered online, some places remember us too. So the next time you book an Airbnb and feel the hair on your neck stand up, ask yourself, are you the guest or the ghost?